In the heart of occupied France, the Nazi prison at Amiens stood as a fortress of oppression. Within its walls, brave members of the French resistance were held captive, their executions imminent. The German forces aimed to crush the spirit of rebellion by silencing these freedom fighters. But across the English Channel, the seeds of hope were being sown. The Royal Air Force began planning an unprecedented rescue mission, one that would test the limits of courage, precision, and sacrifice. Inside an RAF briefing room in England, tensions ran high. Maps of Amiens were spread out, and the pilot studied every detail. The objective was clear: destroy the prison walls to allow the captives to escape, but avoid harming the prisoners. It was an operation fraught with risk, treacherous weather, tight. The de Havilland Mosquito, nicknamed the Wooden Wonder, was the RAF's secret weapon. Its lightweight wooden frame made it nearly invisible to radar, while its speed and maneuverability were unmatched. Pilots inspected their aircraft one last time, knowing this machine was their only lifeline. As engines roared to life, the Mosquitoes soared into the skies, carrying not just explosives, but the hopes of the resistance and the promise of freedom. February 18, 1944. The mission was underway, but nature seemed to conspire against them. Storm clouds gathered, and rain lashed against the aircraft. The pilots flew dangerously low to avoid detection, skimming treetops and dodging enemy outposts. Communication was sparse. Each crew relied on their skill and intuition. The journey to Amiens was a test of endurance and sheer willpower, as every second brought them closer to their target and into the jaws of danger. After hours of tense navigation, the city of Amiens came into view. The prison loomed on the horizon, a grim reminder of the lives hanging in the balance. The pilots tightened their grip on the controls, knowing this was the moment of truth. Every calculation, every maneuver had to be perfect. There would be no second chances. The weight of the mission pressed heavily, but so did the determination to succeed. The first wave of Mosquitoes descended with pinpoint accuracy. Bombs were released with surgical precision, striking the outer walls of the prison. Debris flew into the air as the fortified barriers crumbled, creating a breach. Inside the prison, chaos erupted. Prisoners realized that salvation was within reach. The first step of the mission was complete, but the danger was far from over. Following closely behind, the second wave of bombers focused on neutralizing the guard towers. With deadly precision, the Mosquitoes unleashed their payloads, silencing the machine guns that could have turned the escape into a massacre. The guards scrambled in confusion, their stronghold reduced to rubble. The path to freedom was now clear, but time was running out. The pilots knew they had to hold their nerve. Video prompt. Amid the destruction, a new sound emerged, the cries of hope and determination. Prisoners surged toward the shattered walls, some carrying injured comrades, others shouting instructions. Outside, members of the resistance waited, ready to guide the escapees to safety. The once silent prison courtyard was now alive with movement, as courage and chaos intertwined in a desperate bid for freedom. Back in the skies, the Mosquito pilots faced their own battle. Enemy anti-aircraft fire intensified, filling the air with deadly shrapnel. Planes weaved and darted, some narrowly avoiding disaster, others sustaining damage. Yet the pilots pressed on, ensuring no target was left untouched. Their bravery and skill turned the tide, but not without great cost. Every second in enemy airspace was a gamble with fate. As the Mosquito bombers turned for home, the weight of what had just transpired began to sink in. Damage to the planes was evident, but so was the relief. Despite the odds, the mission was a success. As they approached the airfield, ground crews rushed to meet them, cheering the returning heroes. For the pilots, exhaustion mixed with pride. They had answered the call and changed the course of history. The raid had achieved its primary objective. Over 100 prisoners escaped, many of whom rejoined the resistance. The cost was high. Some prisoners and civilians lost their lives, and not all bombers made it back. Yet, Operation Jericho sent a powerful message. It was a testament to the unyielding spirit of those who refused to be silenced even in the darkest of times. The pilots who carried out Operation Jericho became legends in their own right. Their skill, precision, and unwavering courage were celebrated long after the war. But for these heroes, it wasn't about glory. It was about duty, about answering the call to protect freedom, no matter the cost. Their sacrifice reminds us of the extraordinary lengths ordinary people will go to for justice. The freed prisoners didn't fade into the shadows. Many went on to lead critical operations, gathering intelligence, sabotaging Nazi supply lines, and inspiring others to join the cause. Operation Jericho was more than a rescue. It was a spark that reignited the resistance and bolstered the hope of an entire nation under occupation. The freed prisoners didn't fade into the shadows. Many went on to lead critical operations, gathering intelligence, sabotaging Nazi supply lines, and inspiring others to join the cause. Operation Jericho was more than a rescue. It was a spark that reignited the resistance and bolstered the hope of an entire nation under occupation. Operation Jericho stands as a timeless lesson in the power of courage and unity. It reminds us that even in the face of overwhelming odds, as we reflect on Operation Jericho, let us honor the sacrifices made for freedom. Let us remember the pilots who risked their lives, the resistance fighters who persevered, and the prisoners who dared to hope. Share this story to keep their legacy alive and remind the world of the enduring strength of human spirit in the fight for justice. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell for you to be notified first as soon as our next video uploaded.